cat's head if there's no body to cut from?
Anything with a head can be the head. So don't give me that nonsense, Daryl.
Please be reasonable, Your Majesty. I've never had to do this before.
Either you cut off that cat's head, or I will have everybody's head removed!
It is removed, Your Majesty.
Off with the cat's head and then remove your own!
Can one remove their own
Off
head?
with your head!
It was a serious question. I wasn't being rhetorical.
Neither was I.
The cat belongs to the Duchess. You better ask her about it.
She's in prison. Fetch her here.
Where did it go?
Since when did having an execution become such an ordeal?
Oh, I haven't the words for this.
Your Majesty.
Right now! Oh. You.
You can't think of how glad I am to see you again, you dear old thing.
And don't worry, I'll cut her head off later.
Alice was glad to find the Duchess in such a pleasant temper, and thought to herself that perhaps it was only the pepper that had made her so savage when they met in the kitchen. When I'm Duchess, she said to herself, I won't have any pepper in my kitchen at all.
You are thinking about something, my dear, and that makes you forget to talk. I can't tell you what the moral of that is just now, but I shall remember it in a bit. Perhaps it has a moral. Tut, tut, child, everything's got a moral, if only you can find it.
The game's going on rather better now.
'Tis so, in the moral of that is, oh, 'tis love, that makes the world go round.
Somebody said that it was done by everybody minding their own business.
Ah, well, it means much the same thing. And the moral of that is, take care of the sights and the sounds will take care of themselves.
How fond you are finding morals in things.
I dare say you're wondering why I don't put my arm around your waist. Well, I'll tell you. It's because I'm doubtful about the temper of your flamingo.
Careful of my flamingo. He might fight.
Very true. Flamingos and mustards both fight. And the moral of that is, birds of a feather flock together.
Only mustard isn't a bird.
Right as usual. What a clear way you have of putting things.
It's a mineral, I think.
I quite agree with you. There's a large mustard mine near here, and the moral of that is, the more there's a rhyme, the less there is a roar.
Wait! It's a vegetable.
Ah, of course it is. And the moral of that is, be what you would seem to be. Or, simply put, never imagine yourself not to be otherwise than what you were, or might have appeared to others was nothing but what you were or would have appeared to be otherwise.
Alice was doing her best to be polite.
I think I might understand that better if I had it written down. But I can't quite understand it as you say it.
Oh, that's nothing to what I could say if I chose.
Hey! Don't trouble yourself to say it any longer than that.
Oh, don't talk about trouble. I made you a present of everything I've said as yet.
A cheap sort of present, Alice thought. She thought how glad she was that people didn't give birthday presents like that.
Thinking again?
I have a right to think.
Just as much as the right as pigs have to fly in the moral of... A fine day, Your Majesty.
I give you a choice. Either you or your head must be off.
Off with me?
Fine! Let's continue the game, shall we? Have you met the mock turtle yet?
No, I don't even know what a mock turtle is.
It's the thing mock turtle soup is made of.
I never saw one or heard of one.
Well, come, and I'll take you to hear your history.
They very soon came upon the griffin, the winged monster with the head of a bird and the body of a lion.
You lazy thing! Take this girl to hear the mock turtle's history. I have some executions to look after.
Alice did not quite like the look of the creature, but on the whole she thought it would be quite as safe to stay with it as to go after the savage queen. So she waited.
What fun!
What is the fun?
Why, see, it's all a fancy that never suits nobody, you know. Come on!
I can't fly.
Well, neither can I. But you can't go anywhere if you don't flap your wings. Come on!
They had not gone far before they saw the mock turtle in the distance, sitting sad and lonely on a little ledge of rock, and as they came nearer, Alice could hear him sighing as if his heart would break. She pitied him deeply.
What's his sorrow?
He's got the blues, you know. Come on.
They went up to the mock turtle, who looked at them with large eyes full of tears, but said nothing.
This here young lady, she wants more to know your history, she do.
We went to school in the sea. In fact, we had the best of educations.
I went to a day school too. You need to be so proud of all that.
With extras?
Yes, we learned French and music.
And washing?
Certainly not.
Ah, and yours was in a really good school then. Now at ours, they had, at the end of the bill, French, music, and washing extras.
Well, you couldn't have wanted much from me in the bottom of the sea.
I couldn't afford to learn it. I only took the regular course.
What was that?
Well, reeling and rhyming, of course, to begin with. And then the different branches of arithmetic. Ambition, distraction, uglification, and derision.
I've never heard of uglification. What is it?
Never heard of uglifying? You know, it's beautifiers, I suppose.
Yes, it means to make anything prettier.
Well then, if you don't know what uglify is, you are a simpleton.
Alice did not feel encouraged to ask any more questions about it, so she turned to the Mock Turtle and said,
What else have you learned?
Well, there was mystery. Mystery, ancient and modern, oceanography. And then there was drawing. The drawing master was an old conjureal. He used to come once a week. He taught us drawing and stretching and painting in coils. Oh my God!
What was that like?
Well, I can't show it to you myself. I'm too stiff. And the griffin never learns it.
At the time, I was the old classical master though. He was an old crab, he was.
I never went to him. He taught laughing and grief. They used to say.
So he did. So he did.
Lieutenant. So how many hours a day did you do lessons?
Oh, well, 10 hours the first day, and 9 the next, and so on and so on.
What a curious plan.
That's why they're called lessons, because they lesson from day to day.
So the 11th day was a holiday.
Of course it was.
So how did you manage on the spot?
That's enough about lessons.
And now that we've shared some of our adventures with you, come, let's hear some of your adventures.
Well, I can tell you my adventures, beginning from yesterday, but it's no use, because I was a different person then.
But no matter who you are now, the person you are now was created by the person you used to be.
The explanations of the former self take such a dreadful time. Let's hear the adventures.
So Alice began telling them her adventures from the time when she first saw the white rabbit. Hours went by. Then,
That's very curious.
It's all about as curious as it can be. Why don't we see if we can get the Mock Turtle to sing a song?
Oh, a song, please. If the Mock Turtle would be so kind.
All right. Beautiful soup.
court of justice, but she had read about them in books, and she was quite pleased to find that she knew the name of nearly everything there.
Well, Griffin, that's the judge. Well, these 8 creatures, well, I guess they're the jurors. Jurors, jurors, jurors. It's such an intelligent word, Griffin.
I don't know your meaning. Dexterity is very smart. I met him once, he's a jerk. But they do very quick the bill. And writing down their names so that they should forget them before the end of the trial. Stupid things.
Silence in the court!
Alice could see, as well as if she were looking over their shoulders, that all the jurors were writing down the words she had spoken, stupid things. She could even make out that one of them didn't know how to spell stupid, and that he had to ask his neighbor to tell him.
Next month their slates will be before the trial's over.
One of the jurors, Bill the Lizard, had a pencil that squeaked. This, of course, Alice could not stand, and she went round the court, got behind him, and took it. Bill could not make out what had become of it, and had to write with his finger for the rest of the trial.
Harold! Read the accusation.
The Queen of Hearts. She made some tarts, all on a summer day. The knave of hearts, he stole those tarts and took them right away.
Consider your verdict.
Not yet, We're coming with that.
Yes, of course. Call the first witness.
The Mad Hatter!
I beg your pardon, Your Majesty, sir. Bringing these in, I hadn't quite finished my tea when I was sent for.
You ought to have finished. When did you begin?
14th of March, I think it was. 15th, 16th.
Write that down.
The jury eagerly wrote down all 3 dates on their slates, then added them up and reduced the answer to shillings and pence.
Take off your hat.
It isn't mine.
Stolen!
I keep them to sell. I am not of my own. I'm a hatter.
Give your evidence, or I'll have you executed on the spot.
This did not seem to encourage the witness at all. He kept shifting from one foot to the other, looking uneasily at the Queen, and in his confusion, he bit a large piece of his teacup instead of the bread and butter. At that moment, Alice felt a very curious sensation, which puzzled her a good deal until she made out what it was. She was beginning to grow larger again.
Oh, no.
She thought at first she would get up and leave the court, but on second thought, she decided to remain where she was as long as there was room for her.
I wish you would squeeze so I can hardly
I
breathe.
can't help it. I'm growing.
Well, you've no right to grow here.
Don't talk nonsense. You know, you're growing too.
Yes, but I grow at a reasonable pace, not in that ridiculous fashion.
Bring me the list of singers from the spring concert.
Give your evidence, or I'll have you executed whether you're nervous or not.
I'm a poor man, Your Majesty, and it had begun not a week or so ago with the bread and the butter getting so thin, and the twinkling of the tea.
The twinkling of what?
It began with the tea.
Of course twinkling begins with a T. You take me for a dunce. Go on.
I'm a poor man, and most things twinkled after that. Only the Martyr said, I didn't. You didn't. I deny it.
He denies it! Leave out that part.
Well, at any rate, the dormouse said. After that, I cut some more bread and butter.
What did the dormouse say?
That I can't remember.
You must remember, or I'll have you executed.
I'm a poor man.
You're a very poor speaker. Well, if that's all you know about this matter, then you may stand down.
I can't go any lower. I'm on the floor as it is.
Then you may sit down.
I'd rather finish my tea.
Go, Michael! Call
jumped up in such a hurry that she tipped over the jury box with the edge of her skirt.
Oh, I beg your pardon. How let me help?
The trial cannot proceed until all the jurymen are back in their proper places! Ah! What do you know about this business?
Nothing.
Nothing whatever.
Nothing whatever.
That's very important!
Unimportant.
Unimportant! Of course, I meant important. Unimportant. Unimportant.
Some of the jury wrote down important and some unimportant. Alice could see this, as she was near enough to look over their slates. It doesn't matter a bit, she thought to herself.
Silence! Rule 42. All persons more than a mile high can leave the court.
Not a mile high.
You are!
Nearly 2 miles high.
Well, I shan't go at any rate. Well, besides, it's not a regular rule. You invented it just now.
It's the oldest rule in the book.
Then it ought to be number 1.
Consider your verdict.
Not yet, please, Your Majesty. This paper has just come up.
What's in it?
I haven't opened it yet, but it seems to be a letter written by the prisoner to somebody.
Oh, well, it must have been that. Unless it was written to nobody, which is not usual, as you know.
Who is it directed to?
It isn't directed at all. In fact, there's nothing written on the outside. It isn't a letter after all. It's a set of verses.
Are they the prisoner's handwriting?
No, they're not, and that's the queerest thing about them.
He must have imitated somebody else's hand.
Please, Your Majesty, I didn't write it. They can't prove that I wrote it. There's no name signed at the end.
Well, if you didn't sign it, that only makes the matter worse. You must have meant some mischief, or you'd have signed your name like an honest man.
That only proves his guilt. So off with his
It
head!
doesn't prove anything of the sort. But you don't even know what they're about.
Read them.
Where shall I begin, please, Your Majesty?
We'll begin at the beginning, then go on till you come to the end, then stop.
They told me I had been to her and mentioned me to him. She gave me a good character, but said I could not swim. He sent them word I had not gone. We know it to be true. If she should push the matter on, what would become of you? My notion was that you had been, before she had this fit, an obstacle that came between him and ourselves and it.
That is the most important piece of evidence we've heard yet. So now, let the jury...
If any one of them can explain it, I'll give them 6 pence. I believe there's an atom of meaning in it.
Well, if there's no meaning in it, then that saves us a world of trouble, you know, as we needn't try to find any. But yet, I don't know. I seem to see some meaning in them. After all, said I could not swim. Name, you're the one on trial here. You can't swim, can you?
Do I look like it?
All right! So far, we know it to be true. That must be the jury. If she should push the matter on, that must be the queen. What would become of you? What, indeed?
But it goes on. An obstacle that came between.
Well, there they are! Nothing can be clearer than that! Then again, before she had this fit, my dear, you've never had fits, I think.
Never!
Then the words don't fit you. It's a pie! Let the jury consider the verdict!
No! Sentence first, verdict after.
Stop the nonsense. The idea of the sentence first?
Hold your tongue!
I won't.
Off with her head!
Who cares for you? You're nothing but a pack of cards.
At this, the guards rose up and surrounded Alice, reaching for her head so that it might be cut off. But she was simply too large for them to reach. Alice laughed at them, swatting them away. They fell to the ground, and the courtroom grew away. Soon,